Welcome to the On Deck podcast. This is our best ball series alongside Tyler Wiemann. I'm Shannon Sommerville, and on today's show, we're going to be focusing in on best ball team stacks that you can focus in on late in the draft. So this is a great theory that Tyler has leaned into time and time again, the stacking theory. And here we're talking about late stacks. What do we mean by that, Tyler?
Yeah, you're going through the draft, the first half of the draft, you're not getting too crazy with your ADP, and sometimes it's a little hard to stack and you need to find some extra correlation later in the draft. These are some of the guys and some of the teams to target for that situation.
And correlation is key. By the way, if you don't have Underdog yet and you want to check out these best ball drafts where the winner of the best ball dinger contest gets $100,000. So you got to be in it to win it. Download Underdog today. Use the promo code LineStar when you do though, so you can get $1,000 bonus cash right when you sign up. It's a great deal there. So take advantage of that while you can right now. Again, the promo code is LineStar. And do us a huge favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. Baseball season is right around the corner. And so you want to keep it posted here on the LineStar YouTube channel because we'll be coming out with daily picks. And we'll continue with our best ball content, though, but just days away here. So we've got to lean into some late team stacks because I struggled with this last week in one of our live drafts. I was like, you know what? It's getting a little tough here. So knowing what players are going to be available late in the draft is also key. So here are some teams to look for if you are looking for maybe some correlation, as Tyler said, late in the draft and just get some really good value. So let's start things off with the Boston Red Sox. Looking at some players this is an offense that last year was a team that ranked top 10 in average OBP, slugging, OPS, ISO, runs, home run, RBIs, all the stats basically. And there are some players that you could find a little bit later, Tyler. Talk me through the Boston Red Sox as a team stack late in the draft.
Yeah, so we've highlighted three players here. There's Trevor Story, Christian Campbell, and then Yoshida. So Trevor Story, we all know, his deal. He's been a very good player for years. He's a vet, but it comes with injury risk. He just has not been able to put together healthy years. If this is the year that he stays healthy, with a pick that hasn't really been taken all that much so far in the contest, you're getting a guy that's going to hit in the middle of the order with huge upside. Then you have Christian Campbell, who is the 7th ranked MLB top 100 prospect. He's going to be your everyday second baseman. He also was not taken with a ton of, in a ton of these contests due to people just not knowing if he was going to make the team. Turns out he did. Huge upside with that pick. And once again, the last couple rounds, you can get him. And then Yoshida, we've seen him for the last couple years. He's a solid hitter. He's going to start the year in minor leagues, but he is a late outfielder, and it's kind of hard to get that late outfield spot.
Yeah, and it's just at Fenway, so we like the hitter-friendly venue that they're all playing at, and the Red Sox in general, a good hitting team for this year, and they're projected to be once again. All right, next up, let's go to the Milwaukee Brewers, another team that was top 6 in runs and RBIs. They were top 10 in average and OBP last year. So some players that might be available late: Rhys Hoskins at ADP 175, Bryce Terang at ADP 231, and Joey Ortiz at 236. So some options here for the Brew Crew, Tyler. What do you like about it?
Yeah, this is a team that lost Willy Adames, so they need to make up for their offense somewhere. And I think these guys kind of can, even though they were involved in the offense last year. Rhys Hoskins sat out all of 2023 with an injury. He is back with 2024 and has a down year, recovering from his injury. Not totally 100% probably for, at least the first half of the year. Comes out for spring training and he has been scorching hot. He has 6 home runs in spring training. He has 30 home run upside, so taking him at the very end of the draft makes some sense there. Then you got Bryce Terang, 50 stolen bases last year. Another guy, very last pick of your draft. You can get him. And Joey Ortiz, who has been a solid prospect, hitting 349 in spring training so far. And, this is going to be the first year that he has everyday playing capabilities. He's going to be this shortstop. He's taking over for Willie Adames. And there were stretches and flashes last season that he looked like a very, legit hitter at this level. And we're just waiting to see if he can really put that all together.
And you got to take some shots in best ball. So great
Yes.
opportunity there. Next up, let's go to the Miami Marlins, who didn't have a ton of pop last year, but actually they were third in on-base percentage. So looking at some of the players here, we're talking Xavier Worthy at 166, Jesus Sanchez at 232, Connor Norby at 239. Tyler, what jumps out to you about these Miami Marlins players late in the draft?
And I think you slipped into your NFL hat real quick because it's Xavier
Sorry.
Edwards, not Worthy.
Wrong sport here. But yes, MLB, we're talking Xavier Edwards.
But
Good
we all
call
know
there.
you know about Edwards. We have already talked about him on other shows. He is one of the guys that I am really targeting. Last season, in his brief MLB stint, he was on a pace to get 1,400 underdog fantasy points. He has the job. He's going to be playing full time this season, and he has 70 stolen bases as his goal.
See,
this
it was
year.
the speed that got me. See, Xavier Worthy's fast too, so
Yes.
is Xavier Edwards. So
Something
just
in the
saying.
X, I guess.
Yeah.
Jesus Sanchez is a late outfielder there. There's some upside. I don't totally love the pick for Sanchez, but if you need an outfielder, you already have Edwards. It makes some sense to grab Sanchez. And then Norby. Norby was big time prospect with Baltimore, got traded to Miami and played very well. Was on a 1,200 pace in his 45 games or so last season in the major leagues. I like his upside. I think, that is one of the offenses that I have a ton of, especially Edwards and Norby. And it's one that's really going overlooked in my eyes.
All right, next up, let's go to the St. Louis Cardinals. And they kind of had a pretty bad offense last year. They're not expected to do that much better this year, but they did get a new hitting coach, and so that's a little interesting. But some of the players we're talking about here, Wilson Contreras, Mason Wynn, Victor Scott. Tyler, talk me through this one because, I'm gonna need some justification for this one. They were a bad offense last year, no question about it. Yeah.
So one of the issues with Wilson Contreras for the last years is that he's been a catcher. And because of that, he's not playing every single day. Mm-hmm. He's not in that order. Can't score fantasy points. They're moving him to first base. He's going to play first base. He's going to play DH. So he's going to be in the order a little more than what we're used to. So obvious upside there. He has been red hot in spring training, hitting 405, two home runs. So the case for him, it's a vet. We know him. We know what he's all about, but he's going to play more. Wynn has been a solid prospect, did well last year. I don't see a ton of upside over what he did last year. Maybe repeat that with a little bit of plus on top. And that's fine for where he's being drafted. But then you have Victor Scott, who we weren't sure if is going to make the team or not. He has an amazing amount of speed. He's going to be a stolen base threat anytime he's on the bases, and that just breeds fantasy points. And he has been drafted very, very little so far. So this Seattle kind of stack, there's so many guys going late, and we know that organization somehow routinely does well and gets more out of their guys than what we're used to seeing or what we expect. And so it's a little bit of a bet on the organization, a little bit of a bet on some of this young talent. And then you have a slew of outfielders, there that are kind of interesting. Walker, Brulson, Donovan, Nootbaar, all of them are kind of going to be in the mix and are some interesting outfield late options you can take.
And another great team last year was your Padres, Tyler, and they continue to be a good stacking option here. Led the Major League Baseball in team average last year. They were top 10 in OBP, slugging, runs, and RBIs. And guess what? They're still probably going to be top 10 in just about every category because of some of the veteran guys that they have on their squad. We're talking about Luis Ariz, Xander Bogaerts, Jake Cronenworth, all available pretty late. So these are some people, and as you can see, LineStar, our projections really like them compared to where they're being drafted right now. What is your take of your Padres this year as a late stack?
Yeah, it's all about this offense. I mean, you got a top 10 offense. They're going to be scoring runs. We know all three of these guys. I don't need to go into detail on them, but they're
Hmm.
all just going too late with a solid offense, and that's the big deal there. If you need a little uh, you know, you faded infield early, you need some more stacks, you need infield. Padres are a great team to look at.
And lastly, another team to look at is the Chicago Cubs, who were 12th in runs last year and now get a little bit of a boost because of the addition of Kyle Tucker. Tyler, what do you like about the Cubs as a late stacking option with the likes of Nico Herner, Michael Busch, Matt Shaw? Talk me through these guys.
So Horner should be going way higher than he is. The big thing with him, everybody thought he would start the year on the IL. There is now a chance that he plays that opening series. Now we're still not sure on that, but he is still going very late in this draft for the upside that he has, and I'm definitely taking some of him. Michael Busch, we've gone over multiple
Mm-hmm.
shows now. He's expected to hit fourth in a good offense. There was 12th in runs last year, and now they got more offensive juice. And then Matt Shaw, he is the 19th prospect on the top 100 for Major League Baseball. And he's another guy that hasn't been drafted in a ton of contests and is going to have a shot. You know, the Matt Schaubs, the Christian Campbells, these guys are the chance, the guys that have those chances like Jackson Merrill last year, who weren't
Mm-hmm.
drafted in a ton
Mm-hmm.
of, well, actually Jackson Merrill wasn't even in underdog contest last year. Um, but that type of player may not be drafted in a lot of the leagues, and there's just giant like
Yep.
whole league winning upside with them if they
Mm-hmm.
really hit.
And you got to take some shots if you want to win that 100K for first place.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to do it, especially with some of these guys that we don't know a ton about, but we do know that they've obviously got some prestige coming up through the minors. So we do know a little bit about them and can take some shots here and there. And especially late in the draft with your last pick, why not take a shot on somebody who could provide the winning upside for you? You never know. So those are some team stacking options. Let us know what you're rolling with in some best ball drafts. Also this week we will have some live drafts as well as we get closer to opening day and getting set for that. Just trying to win 100K here. See if we can do it. If you don't have Underdog, again, use the promo code LineStar when you first download it so you can get that nice, juicy deposit match. Plus, you can also get one free month of the LineStar app as well. So take advantage of that deal while it lasts. Right now, if you haven't checked out the LineStar app, we have best ball rankings that you can export and load directly into your Underdog draft. So it's a great tool that can help you out. Check it out at linestarapp.com. And do me a favor, if you haven't already by this point in the show, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, check out our other best ball content as well. We've already gone over sleeper picks, all the value that you can get late in the draft, as well as some best ball 101 common strategies and practices that you should employ in your next draft. And we'll be back with some more live drafts. So make sure to sign up for notifications so you know when we are going live, and join us in our next best ball Dinger draft room. Good luck in all of your Dinger drafts. Let's get ready for baseball season. Let's go. All right. See you next time.